Okay, ladies, so if you're from Atlanta, you kind of know it's kind of hard to make friends. So this is why I don't have no friends. So I'm new to Atlanta, don't really know nobody. Moved up here with my sister or whatever. So I decided to go out to this club called 1145 because behind the club is where I get my hair done at. So I goes in and meet this cool little chick or whatever at the bartender. So I'm like, hey girl, just really moved here and not really got too many friends. She like, girl, just start coming here every Friday night. I'm the bartender. I'm going to be here. So I'm like, okay, cool. Find me a homegirl. She a bartender. I can get me some drinks, tip her. I feel good spending my money because, I just met her. She cool. So we ends up linking up or whatever, y'all, having a good time. So I'm like, okay, girl, we should go out next weekend for brunch or something. I know you're busy. I don't want to, invade your space too much. So, y'all, time goes by, gets home. The next day she texts me like, hey, girl, you going to get me in trouble. I'm like, get you in trouble, huh? So at the time, I'm like, the fuck could happen? So she's like, girl, my manager just pulled me to the side, and he's like, I didn't ID you last night. I'm like, ID me? How you know? So she's like, he said he ran the camera and seen that I was just giving you drinks, didn't ID you. So could you send me your ID front and back? I'm like, huh? I'm like, I could come up there, but I don't really feel comfortable with sending you my ID front and back. So then y'all text her. I was like, well, you know what? Your job is on the line. I'm just moving here. So I'm like, damn, I just got here. I'm not gonna make this girl do her job. So I'm like, give me your manager number. I will call him personally or I will FaceTime him to show him my ID. So I'm texting her, I'm calling her like, hey girl, give me the manager number. She's not answering, y'all. So I'm starting sending voice messages like, hey sis, I didn't mean no harm. Like, I really left my ID that night. That's what really happened. So in my head, it sounded believable. Like, okay, he might have ran the cameras back. Like, I don't want this girl to lose her job. Because when I got to the club, so happened, I always switch my purses. So this particular day, I took my gold MCM purse and my ID was in another purse. Oh, but most of the time when I go out, they just be like, show me a picture. Y'all, I can go to the club. This man said, pull up your Facebook. Like, they gonna see some type of proof. But don't get me wrong, we was vibing. You don't want to seem like you're doing too much. So she didn't do none of that. I was just like, girl, I ain't got my ID. She was like, girl, you good. So in my head, I'm thinking like, damn, he might have did run the cameras back. Like, it sounded believable now. So y'all, I'm panicking like, damn, this girl finna lose her job. I don't know what I'm thinking, y'all. My slow ass can't take her phone. So I'm like, damn, she not responding. Let me go up there. So I'm texting her like, hey girl, I'm 10 minutes away. I'm on the way up there to speak with your manager. Because in my head, I'm actually concerned. She calls me like, hey girl, you're fine. Don't worry about it. And I was calling you to let you know I had your number mixed up with my other homegirl. That message wasn't even for you. Now you playing in my face. Now I'm gonna pull up anyways because I went to Puerto Rico with this guy I was talking to for 2 months. He wasn't my boyfriend, but we were kind of dating because we were always hanging out, doing everything together. And then we went to Puerto Rico for his birthday. So I bought my own plane ticket, but then like he covered everything else. It was me, him, his friend, and his friend's girlfriend. We all went together. Everything was fine up until the second day. We went to La Placita, and we were at a bar. He doesn't drink a lot, but we were on vacation, so I was expecting him to drink because he was drinking with his friend. So I bought all of us shots at this bar, and I was like, yo, like everybody already took their shot. I was like, take your shot. And he was like, no. I was like, bro, take the shot. Like, we're on vacation. Take the shot or I'm going to be mad. Because I'm like, you took all the shots with your friend, but you won't take the shot that I bought you. Like, it wasn't even, I bought a Don Julio shot. It wasn't even like some ratchet or nasty tequila. And I was like, if you don't take the shot, then I'm going to be mad at you. And he's like, okay. So then I took the shot for him and I was pissed. And he was standing by the bar. So I just walked away to like a little table that was by there. And I'm like vibing, recording myself for Instagram, And then some random girl comes up to him at the bar and holds his hand and like tries to party with him. And he went along with it. At that point, I was so pissed. I went up to his friend and I was like, yo, do you have an extra room key? And he was like, no. And I was like, all right then. So I just walked out of the bar, walked to the bar like across the street. I went to the bar and I got myself a drink. And I was just like throwing like a fit, like a temper tantrum type of shit. But he was blowing up my phone. I was like, bro, leave me alone. Like, I'm mad. Like, let me just cool off. I was like, go hang out with the that you were holding hands with, right? And then some random guy comes up to me. He's like, can I buy you another drink? Buys me a drink. We start talking, vibing, dancing. And then my ex comes
Like, he finally finds me, finally finds where I'm at, and he sees me dancing with this other man. At that point, he got really pissed. He's like, don't even think about coming back to the hotel. He's like, I hope you go home with him because you're not coming back here. I was like, bro, you think I need you? I was like, I don't even need the guy that I met. I was like, I got my own money and I can book myself my own hotel. Ladies, that's why you always need your own money and you can't depend on a guy. But it turned out that the guy I was dancing with was super sweet, super nice. I ended up going home with him. We didn't do anything that night. He was just like, bro, are you okay? Like, I'm not gonna like let you sleep on the street or whatever. Next day we went to pick up my things and he showed me the island for the rest of my trip. He was literally the sweetest guy I've ever met. And I'm so grateful.
So back in 2009, I was dating this guy, and he was very involved in my daughter's life. He would be there on every holiday and every birthday, and he wanted to file her one year on his taxes. And I was like, nah, I do that or whatever. And he was like, well, I deserve to do it too or whatever. He was like, you should let me adopt her so she can legally be mine so I can file her on my taxes too. And I'm like, you sound like a scammer. But anyway, I said no, and after I said no, that was the day he cut us off. Like he was done with us after that. So you see those subtle signs in men, but I knew it, but I couldn't like prove it. So one day he had his plaits hanging down in his face, and he did like this to get it out. I was like, I knew it, but I couldn't prove it, and that's not really solid proof. So once we broke up, here comes everybody. Oh yeah, he messed with this guy I know. He did this with this guy I know. And I'm like, now y'all tell me? But anyway, long story short, he kept trying to have a baby with me too. And that was a weird thing. And I was like, but it was the tax return, attention, and all of that stuff. Fast forward to 2022, March. He did the same thing to another girl. She didn't know that he was down in Atlanta. Because he just moved back from Atlanta, but he was down in Atlanta with a guy, and she didn't know that he was down in Atlanta. He had a guy that he was dealing with. So she had a baby. He pretended it was his for attention or whatever. Got his last name and everything, y'all. They just posted this stuff on social media. That's how I seen it. But it's just really, really crazy how 10 years later, 11 years, as a matter of fact, it's longer than that. Oh my God, it's been like 13 years. I'm old. But anyway, it's just crazy that the fact that you're still doing the same thing, because she did not know. Now everybody else knows in the city, but she did. The girl he went after didn't know. So she had a baby, gave him his last name or whatever, and now he's playing family and all that stuff. And she just found out that he doesn't like women, and it's just really crazy. Man, be safe out here.
This took place over 10 years ago when I was a senior in college, and I'm ready to tell my story. I tried telling it once and practically got bullied into not saying anything, but forget that. I lived it. I'm telling it. I was talking to a guy named Brandon in college. He had a brother named Louis that he lived with. One day I was at Brandon and Louis' apartment. Brandon told me that Louis sometimes has a lot of girls that come in and out of the house, but don't think anything of it because they're not for him. Wasn't my business, wasn't my boyfriend, so I didn't question it. On a random spring day, I got a DM from a girl on Twitter. It was clearly a catfish page. She also had a Facebook page that she was communicating from. The catfish page definitely belonged to Louis, and she would solicit girls to come and hang out and party with her with B-list celebrities for money. I realized something wasn't right with this situation, so I never took a stab at it, but I told all of my teammates on the cheerleading team to look out for that page and don't fall for the uh-oh. One of my teammates decided to do it anyways. She was put in a very unsafe, scary situation 3 different times, never seeing this person's face, and also never getting paid for what she had done. They were not sexually involved, but she did give him lap dances and she was supposed to get paid for them, and she never did. Out of anger, when she didn't get paid, she texted him and told him that she was going to blow his head off. Unfortunately, that did happen, but it wasn't my friend. However, when his family got into his electronic devices, they saw that text message, and of course that was the lead they were going to go with. That was all they had. The only connection that the family had, i.e. Brandon, the brother that I used to talk to, with my friend who sent this text message and was involved, was me. So he gave the detectives my information and they called me in for questioning. When I got called in for questioning, they had pictures of myself, my friend, and 2 other girls that we were on the cheerleading team with. And they weren't Instagram selfies either. They had been following us. We didn't have a clue. So after I was questioned about knowing anything about this and any insight I could give them, they told me I could leave. And they also told me I couldn't make any phone calls because they were about to go pick up my friend. When I left, I called my dad to let him know what was going on because no. About 3 minutes later, I got a call from the detectives again to come back. I go back. They asked me if I'd called anyone. I told them yes, I called my dad. They took my phone, they checked my phone, and they saw that I had only called my dad. They then go and pick up my friend, question her, hold her for a bit, and that was that. Unfortunately, the guy did not make it, and what my friend said she was going to do, someone else did.
I have my own apartment. I live alone. Last night I was making dinner. I made steak and rice and veggies. I was sitting down, had my first bite of steak, and as soon as I swallowed it, I realized that it's not going down. I stood up to try to really swallow it. It wasn't passing. In that moment, I realized I couldn't really breathe, and I step outside of my apartment and I start hitting all of the doors around me, like all of everybody's apartment door, and nobody is coming out. And so I realized I have to do this on my own. I either have to hit my chest really hard or try to really hard to swallow it. And as soon as I was about to hit my chest really hard, I look up and I was extending my neck out. That way I can prepare to hit myself. And as soon as I extended my neck out, it passed. And as soon as it passed, my hands started like shaking. And then I waited like 2 minutes because I was just in pure shock. Realized that nobody opened the doors and I could be dead and nobody would know. And then I started crying. Today I saw my neighbor and I had told him what happened, and he has a Ring camera and I got the footage of it, and it was so ugly to experience again by watching it. Overall, I'm just trying to get it out there that whether you're alone or not, be careful when you're eating. Don't be choking on stuff. It's honestly the worst feeling I have ever felt in my whole entire life.